everyone. Hi, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be pros and cons. You know, I'm going to do like a 5 things I like and 5 dislikes, and sometimes what happens is people watch the video and they don't see the other video or somehow don't end up watching the second part. So this is going to be kind of combined. But I'm going to do some things I like, the pros and cons about the car, as well as the cost to own. Since I've had this car for a year and 12,000, almost 13,000 miles now, what does it cost me as far as running costs, other than fuel? So I'm gonna cover all those things, so keep watching. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Things like about the Civic Type R. It has to be the personality of the Type R. And let me explain. What's this guy doing up here? Let's honk at him. Recording. Should have started recording earlier. He pulled in front of me into the U-turn, didn't realize I was here, and he wasn't even looking. So what I like about this car is, first of all, the looks. It looks like a race car. And without someone knowing what a Civic Type R is, they won't know what the Civic Type R really is. And in a way, that's kind of cool because you have sort of your kind of a Jekyll and Hyde sort of personality. The car looks like it could be fast, and you know, but the enthusiasts would know. They'll see it. Most of the Subaru guys, they know exactly what the car is, and most likely they're going to try to race the super guys. It seems like that I get those cars that challenge you a lot. And if you want to fly on the radar, this car is not the one to fly on the radar with. It attracts more attention than I thought it would, to be honest. I thought it would be, you know, like a Civic, you know, people would look at it and, you know, think, but it is a conversation starter. Be at a gas station, someone would come up and talk to me. People would take pictures on the highway. I mean, I used to be cruising my own business, and someone pulled up next to me, and I see someone with the camera, snap a picture. Way more attention than my M3. And my M3 gets a decent amount of attention, but this definitely is an eye catcher. And I don't know if it's because of the color. I don't know. I mean, I wonder how people with the black, I wonder if those get as equal amount of attention as the blue or maybe the red. But it's the attention, the profile. It has a nice, sleek, low, but sort of racy profile, which I like. And the next thing is the way that the car can be for daily, when you're, especially right now I'm in comfort mode, it can drive like, and it feels like your regular Honda Civic. I don't feel like I'm in anything other than a regular Honda Civic. Other than I go to a few bumps and it may be, you know, maybe a little harsher than normal, maybe more road noise, but it feels great. The comfort mode is, I wouldn't say comfort, I would just say, why don't we call it tolerable mode, because you can tolerate the car more. But it's a great car. My next favorite thing about this, it has to be the handling. The handling is just, for a front-wheel drive car to stick this well in the corner, I still cannot just wrap my head around something like this. It's amazing. I'm gonna go into sport mode. We'll do a little pull. Maybe plus R. Ooh, it gets a little harsh. R is just like a rock here. But the car, it just changes its personality. And it just, each gear, it just surges of power. It just, more power, more power. It feels like it doesn't let off. combination of having the VTEC engine and then having the turbochargers. So the turbochargers get that engine spooled up, and then VTEC just go ahead and powers that. It just pulls it right to the red line, and it feels like you just run out. It feels like each gear you just run it out. I feel like you run out. You could probably bang out the top speed in 6th gear with this car easily. Yeah, definitely is that in the handling on this car. Let's see what else I have down. I wrote down a few things. I knew I have so much to talk about. Oh, nothing else. If you're driving a car in heavy crosswinds and you feel like you get blown, and by just being the car the way it is, like a smaller car, the chances of it being blown off its track is higher, which I experienced with my SI and a couple other smaller cars or different rental cars. But this, you can hear the wind, you can see the wind, and I can be driving in like freaking 30-mile-an-hour gusts. And this will not, I don't know, put my turn signal on for this curve, for this handling. But the way that the Type R, the aerodynamics on this car really shows in the crosswinds, because it doesn't get blown around. It doesn't get pulled. It doesn't pull from one side to the other side. It just stays stable. And I'm watching other cars have trouble maintaining their lane. I'm watching the trees wave, and the Type R is just completely like just planted. It's just almost like it's glued to the road. And that to me, that's like, wow, it just shows a lot about the engineering, the stability, and the aerodynamics. Even though that wing looks, maybe some people think is ridiculous, but just shows how functional all the aerodynamics on this car is. Let's see. These seats, for me throwing this corner, and I'm just like throughout the handling is really great. Seats are super supportive. And I'm just going to give you an example. Like I don't slide around. I'm going in a corner right now. This car just sticks. It goes where I point it to. Like if I tell it I want it to go that direction, it's going to go that direction. If anything else, it'll oversteer, and if it oversteers, you can just hit the gas and it powers it right out. It's like glue. Okay. Seats, just, I don't slide around. People told me when they sit in here, they feel like they can do a long trip in these seats. But you can tell this car is just definitely set up for like a race, like all the time. The rev matching. This thing is just, it's such a blast to drive. Such an amazing car to drive, it really is. So now we get to some cons. I have a lot. Not a lot, but I can be really critical of some cars. For one, the infotainment system. With the Apple CarPlay, freezes on me. I hate that it freezes. It's annoying, especially when I plug in, I'm listening to music. I can't enjoy the music. If I'm navigating, I lose the infotainment. I can't even go back to the main screen sometimes. I get a black screen. Sometimes I can fix it by restarting it. Sometimes it won't work. It just all depends. What is that in the road? A table? It's a good thing I wasn't rolling pretty fast on that thing. But yeah. Next thing is the wheels. They're sticky, but the brakes, the way they are, the Brembo brakes in the front, they collect a lot of dirt, rocks that get stuck. I can't how many times, at least once a week, I get a rock that comes up and gets collected in it's stuck between the rotor and the heat shield, and it makes an awful sound. And I've saved a few rocks to show you how they flat spot. Sometimes I'm like, I can't find this rock, I can't get this rock out, and I'm just about nearly taking the wheel off. And a couple of times I had to take the wheel off and just shake it and get it free. thing that I like about this car is the cup holder. So you have your traditional cup holder here. Yeah, you can put, well, maybe put a cup in here. But my favorite part is I can slide this back. There's an additional cup holder down here for taller cups. This is a 40-ounce Hydro Flask. I've never seen any car accommodate a Hydro Flask like this. And it sits right down in there. Just like that. Amazing. Even when you're shifting, it doesn't get inferior. So that, to me, that's a big plus. Next thing is, there no, for this being a Type R and the much money we pay for it, there's no blind spot monitor, there is no lane watch camera, there is no automatic dimming rearview mirror. So I feel like these things, I don't like the fact that these things are missing. I really like to have a blind spot monitor, and I think they improved that with the FL5. But I was surprised that not to see anything. And my SI being, you know, like it's 9th gen SI, and at least had a lane watch camera, something for the blind spot. Here in the Bay Area, with all the traffic, yeah, you can check your shoulder, and I do check my shoulder, but it's nice having a little extra, like a backup. But I mean, like I said, I drove fine without blind spot monitor, parking sensors, backup camera. But when you have those features, then you kind of spec it, especially at a car this price point. Next thing has got to be the Honda sensing. That this has the lane departure warning, lane keep assist, all the features. But I feel like the lane departure warning, lane intervention, sometimes it catches the wrong line and it tries to swerve me out of my own lane. I don't like it. I turn the system off. I feel like it needs to be improved. It's a little annoying to have that in there. Next thing is the rear brakes. Nice Brembos up front. Again, I know why manufacturers don't do it. I know why they don't put the bigger brakes. But I feel like it looks unproportional to have a nice big brake caliper up front and little tiny little eeny weeny brakes in the rear. I don't care if it has to be a single or a dual piston. Just give me a dual piston, something that looks good. But yeah, it just looks, I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't know. I know it's happening more and more frequently in cars. Next thing is, for this car, it looks as aggressive as it is. Surprised to get a little dinky horn. It sounds funny to say that, but the horn is wimpy. You know, it's just like if I'm mad and I want to lay on my horn and not get a beep. You know, like I don't. Come on, I get laughed at more than anything else. And just as I said that about the rocks and the brakes, I have a rock right now just popped in the brakes. You know, if you can hear it, stuck. It's horrible. I mean, we were just talking about this. Car is definitely gotten faster. It's picked up a lot. Amazing how much just it puts you back in your seat too. Another thing I wanted to touch on is these rims. They're prone to. I haven't busted any tires yet. I know they're low profile. They're a 30 series tire. But I've hit some expansion joints and some potholes where it sounded like loud crashing, and I thought, Ugh, makes me a little nervous, especially for daily. And I know people say, "Oh, you can change the tires out, you change this," but I like the way the car looks. I like the way it looks, and I don't want to. There's a few things about it that, for daily, to have to worry about where you're going, and it is a little bit lower. The front end has a tendency to scrape if you're not careful. So, okay. So let's talk about cost of ownership. What does it cost me to run this Type R? Now, I'm gonna tell you, I just followed the maintenance plan. I don't do anything extra. This is not like the BMW where I gotta change it often because of the oil burning issues, things like that. I just followed the manufacturer's recommendation for break-in. I'm not sure if they use special additive or not. I think that's been a debate on the forums. And some people were saying, oh, they change your oil in 1,000 miles and whatever. And then that's a personal opinion. I think a gentleman on that forum actually provided, he went to where the maintenance miner told him when to change the oil. And the oil is obviously calculated by your driving style, driving habits, just like any Honda product. So if you're driving a lot of highway, it's going to prompt the oil change probably a little bit later. You're probably going to extend your oil change longer. If you're doing a lot of city driving, a lot of short trips where the oil could break down faster, then at that point, it will prompt a shorter oil change interval, okay? So I do mostly highway, occasional city, more, kind of mixed driving. But here's the thing. It didn't tell me to change. Actually, it never told me to change my oil. I just happened to look and saw it at 20%. And I think 15% is when it tells you to change. I actually went in a little bit early. They told me I was early. And I said, well, I was worried about being that long. They said, honestly, it's not that. For the car, they said actually is, unless you're tracking the car, then there's no need to change the oil sooner. So basically, oil change for this car, it ran me $95, which is the symbol, the maintenance 1A or A1. And that was the rotate tires and oil change, and filter change. So $95 so far for maintenance for the entire year and a half I had the car and nearly 13,000 miles. That's pretty bad. And that's amazing. Like I said, I know some people are going to get they're going to time in the comments like, oh, you should always change the oil. You should always use, get rid of the break-in oil. Well, the manufacturer set it up that way. It's not like the M's, where the BMW M's, where they tell you, in the AMGs, they tell you 1,200 miles max on that oil, and you need to change it because they have a special break-in oil for those engines. Whatever Honda does, it's like I said, the car doesn't burn any oil. The car runs perfectly smooth. It runs strong, and there's no benefit with that. So anyway, I ran about, I think that mileage I was at 8,300 miles was where I was at. So that's what you got.